Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Monday the 4th of September 2017. Well, judging by the way the market is traded on Friday, a lot of traders decided to extend the Labor Day holiday that they have in the US today by having Friday off. Even though the jobs reports were fairly bad, they still didn't make any difference to the price activity moving low, which we'll come to in just a moment. Meanwhile, in the pound, this was sideways for most of the session, waiting for the jobs report. Eventually it broke out with the US dollar moving low, which we'll come to in just a moment. And then the market really has done nothing since then. Obviously there's the problems in Korea again. They've raised their head, and it looks like before long we're going to see the US take some sort of military response against them. They keep sending off ballistic missiles and hydrogen bombs and all sorts of other things. I don't know whether they're goading the US to see if they will make a preemptive strike, and then of course they can be blamed for that, but who knows. I said before, the world's gone mad and is getting madder by the day. So coming back to the pound, well, you can see really quiet, but it is a bank holiday today. The US will be closed. Before we look at the Dow, let's have a look at what happened on Friday. I didn't see this until Saturday morning, but the Labour Department had trouble with their technology. They couldn't release the job figures, and they opted to release on the web at 8:30, which is really bizarre. Probably that's because, if we look here, the jobs report, as it says here, ugly jobs report, August payrolls miss slide to 156. Hourly earnings also disappoint. So the job numbers were not that good at all. There we go, that's the one we want. And this is the 1:30 news item there. You can see when eventually it got released, very strange that is to me. Prices move lower, and then it's as if everybody just said, okay, just hold it in a range. And then we have the plunge protection team coming out. So we've got 3 trades there, making absolutely no headway whatsoever. And then the market just drifts back again. Really bizarre. And then of course now you've got the market gapping down on the open because of the Korean issue in the background. Always on the weekend. We had this last week, didn't we? And then the market rallied back. Whether it will do or not today, as it's a holiday, I don't know, but there won't be any resistance around to selling, that's for sure, because the US is closed today. So we'll have to wait and see if any selling comes into the market, but I very much doubt it. As I just said, it should be a one-way bet to the upside. I'll take a stab there because that's generally what happens, and we saw that last week. If you look on the daily chart, you will see that gap down and then the market being brought back, and then we've got the gap down again there, this time down to the 20-bar average and the 21,908, which we've spoken about before as well. News-wise, well, we've got bank holiday in the US, and it's a case of whether the markets are going to move or not. We'll see as we go on through the morning. There's nothing else really to move the markets. There's a bit of news out this week from a few central bankers, mainly the Fed, to hopefully move things in a positive direction for the sake of keeping the illusion alive. Right, let's have a quick look at the implied volatility for Friday before we conclude. So the implied volatility is down, very quiet day on Friday, 857 down to 817. So again, you would expect that as the market was treading water. And or again, you know, the short sell in the VIX is still very much prevailing at the moment as well. Until that switches, then they're going to keep selling the VIX to bring the volatility down, to make it look as if there's no risk. But going forward now, as the school holes come to a close, we can expect to see this thing starting to pick up, and a lot of things starting to unwind as well. Things aren't as good as they appear to be, which I've said for an awful long time, and I think as we're going forward through September and October, we're really going to see things starting to fall apart. Right, that will do it for this one. I will report in if there's anything, but it is a bank holiday in the US today. It'll be fairly quiet. If there's no activity in this morning's pre-market session, don't expect too much follow through this afternoon. So you may want to stand aside or paper trade, but take a view, and you'll be able to gauge that by the first bar of the 2:30 kickoff. If it's greater than at least 20 or 30 points. Fridays were just at 20 points when the market opened, so that was a pretty good indication that things were fairly quiet. Right, that'll do it for this one. As ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.